Now, I want to go today into the subject of the male-female symbolism in Tantric Yoga. You will find that in the Tantric art forms, that every Buddha or aspect of the Buddha has a feminine counterpart. And that not only do they have feminine counterparts, but they also have various levels on which they're represented. In other words, we started out, you remember, I described in the last seminar, there were the idea of 5 so-called Yani Buddhas. And these 5, who represent, as it were, the center of a rose, one's in the middle and 4 surround. Then each one has a corresponding bodhisattva form. And then each bodhisattva has in turn a corresponding heruka form, but they're all forms of the original 5. Then whether they're in the form of a Jnani Buddha, or in the form of a bodhisattva, or in the form of a heruka, which is kind of wrathful and weird, far out to kind of character, often with bull's heads. There's one here, which we can look at as a little statue that Kim has brought over. They're all reducible to the original group. And all have these female counterparts, and they are represented as in sexual intercourse, touching at all points, in a complete embrace. And the idea is that this embrace lasts forever and ever and ever and ever and never ends. Because this is a way of representing the nature of life. What is fundamentally involved in this system is self-knowledge. You see, without resonance, nothing happens. If there are no echoes, you can't hear anything. Supposing we get a room in which we blanket all the walls and blanket the floor, soundproof it in every possible direction, you can hardly hear anyone talk, because voice requires resonance. That's why people enjoy singing in the bathtub. They suddenly discover they've got a good voice, because suddenly the bath and the structure of the room, which is all non-soundproofed, resonates their voice. That's why you use a violin or a cello or a bass fiddle has a big wooden structure to make the sound resonant, to play back to itself. And that's why we are all so fascinated with recording things, taking photographs, writing them down, and above all, remembering. It's a form of resonance. Because you see, if you don't remember anything, you don't know you're there. A person who had total amnesia and lived in a split second only wouldn't know he was there. We could conceive, and perhaps there are some forms of life that don't know they're there. I don't know whether my particular cells constituting my body, I don't know whether they know they're there. Maybe they do. Maybe they have some wonderful system of resonance that I know nothing about, and they're all worried about what I'm going to do with them. And having conferences and meetings and policy decisions and so on and so forth, because this person in charge, it might well be that when I die, or when we all die, all our cells suddenly say, God is dead. And they have the big theological controversy. And say, well, we just have to fend for ourselves from now on. And that's called corruption, when they all go off on their own. So, I don't know. It may be that we've got some kind of a system like that. But certainly, to know that you're there, you need an echo. So I invented this limerick.